What's up, world? My name is XyLa Red, and you are now tuning through the newest episode of the All Things House podcast. This is season 2, episode 2. We got some very special guests tonight. Very special guests tonight. I got my main man from LA, Eddie,
Yes,
and
sir.
his daughter, XyLa, right?
Yes, sir.
How's everybody
Say hi,
doing tonight?
XyLa.
Say hi.
Say hi.
Awesome.
Thanks for having us, brother.
Of course, man. Of course. I'm glad you guys can make it down from LA. Get to spend a day down in San Diego.
Yep.
Pretty good day.
Absolutely, man.
Hell
Beautiful
yeah.
day.
Hell yeah. Cool, man. Let's get right into it. So I like to start off with a little background of you.
Yep.
So you can explain to the crowd, the viewers, like what kind of formed your musical taste? How'd you get into, DJing, production, just like the whole beginnings of it.
Yeah. The beginnings of Eddie. I mean, shit. I'm about to be 33 in a couple weeks. Started when I was 18.
Okay.
And I grew up around music. I'm
Mhm.
Hispanic. I'm
Okay.
Latin. So the salsa, the merengue, the cumbia.
Yeah, let's get
So
it.
a lot of rhythm, a lot of Spanish vocals. And
Yeah.
I started out by DJing, just hip hop and,
Mhm.
and top 40 stuff, doing quinceañeras and weddings.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I was about 22, 23 that I really found a love in electronic music, I'll say as a whole, because when I started, I didn't really have a love for house music yet.
Mhm.
So I started with the Hardwell, I started with the
Yeah.
Armin van Buuren
Just like
and all that
everybody
kind of
else.
stuff.
Yeah.
The Alesso and,
Mhm.
and I had some good moments, but yeah, it all slowly led to a love for house.
Yeah.
And I've been dedicated to house music probably the last about 4 or 5 years of my life.
Okay.
And that's where Madhouse came about. And
Okay.
I've been dedicating myself just playing tech house and Latin house and Afro house. So
For sure.
that's where the samples come for my production and
Mhm.
all my production tastes and the DJs that I follow and that I befriend and enjoy. That's all my love right there. It's just
For
Latin
sure.
house. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. So like I said, I'll tell you off camera, I'm from Jersey.
Mhm.
So a lot of that Latin flavor is in my blood just because I was around
Yep.
that all my life.
Right.
It was either it was Latin
Becomes
or
part of
hip hop. It's
Yeah.
it's in my veins, and that's one thing I can say about like a lot of guys that see me play.
Uh-huh.
They always say you always throw a little Latin flavor in there all the
Yeah.
time. That's what
It
it
just
is.
comes.
It's just what it is, But yeah, so I think we started. You said about 10 years. You've been like DJing, like
Yeah,
the
about
EDM,
10,
not
12
EDM,
years.
but
Well,
electric
yeah,
dance.
EDM was probably like about 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. So a lot of people that I know are around my age. So cute. And we all started DJing like right around the same time.
Yep.
That boom of the the EDM, the
Right.
Lessos, the Hardwells,
Right.
the what's that one dude's name? With the long hair, Asian dude.
Stevie Aoki.
Stevie Aoki.
Yeah.
That whole shit, right?
Swedish House Mafia.
Yeah,
all that.
exactly. So we've all been in the game right around the same time.
Right.
So we have similar upbringings in the DJ world,
Right.
So once you found the love, or did you set out to be a DJ? Like when you got into that in the EDM world, or
I
you
never
just
really
loved
thought that I
the
was
music?
going to make it this far, to be honest with
Okay.
you. I just thought it was for fun at the moment. I just thought it was extra money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've always liked music. I've never really been good at any instruments. I've never learned music like that.
Okay.
And I'm not really a singer. So DJing was the only other way that I could communicate my
Express.
feelings,
Yeah.
express my feelings. Exactly.
Sure.
So when I realized that DJing house music was one of those things where you can prepare a set and you could DJ and have somebody come up to you at the end of the set and be like, wow, you made me cry.
Exactly.
I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Like this might go a little bit further than I thought.
Yeah.
You know what I
for
mean?
Sure,
And
sure.
I dedicate a lot of time to my sets. A lot of people just think, when you get that busy, you just, pick up and play. And it's never been like that for me.
Never.
Despite, the places I've toured, the places I've been,
Mhm.
no matter what set, I always dedicate a lot of time to it. And I always try to portray a message through it.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Today, for example, my set after this is going to be dedicated to my baby girl. It's the first
Okay.
time that she gets to see me play.
Yeah.
So, it's a lot of love. It's a lot of emotion. It's a lot of affection.
For
And,
sure.
when you DJ top 40, you do hip hop stuff. It's like you're playing what everybody likes.
Yeah.
You're playing to everybody else.
Mhm.
And I always thought in the beginning, like, DJs in the house music industry should worry more about the crowd, but it's never really been about that. If you really think about it, it's been those DJs playing their emotions and the crowd connecting with that.
Yeah.
And that's why, the Adam Bayers and the Dennis Cruzes and all them have so much followers, because they play for the they portray a message themselves, whether it's strong, whether it's smooth, whether it's groovy, whether it's strong, and people connect with it.
For
You know what I
sure.
mean? And when you're a fan regardless. You know what I mean? And sometimes I've been out seeing DJs where I'm not even in that kind of mood, but I hear them playing. I'm like, holy
Right in that
shit!
mood. Yep.
Like you just made me feel some type of
For
way. You know
sure.
what I mean? So that to me, that's my goal. No matter what, every time I DJ, I need to touch at least one person out there.
For sure.
You know?
That's a good thing you mentioned that you prepare your or sorry, you prepare your DJ sets,
Hmm.
and that translates through the speakers to the audience for sure.
Absolutely.
They can tell that you really prepared for this set. You didn't just 10
They
minutes
feel it.
before just throw songs
Exactly.
on the USB and
Yeah.
play whatever and just stand there and like a robot.
Right.
That really translates through the speakers.
Yep.
So we're trying to talk to you, your kind of the beginnings of it. Did you start off in LA, that area, or
Always in LA.
always
Yeah, I've
start off?
always been around LA.
Okay.
I remember the beginning I used to have like a couple shows out in like Palm Springs and
Okay.
Vegas and San Diego, but
Yeah.
I mean LA's my home. I grew up around there and
Hmm.
and that's where I always had my shows. And it wasn't probably till about I'd say maybe about 2-3 years ago that I started traveling like for real.
Okay.
So I've had shows in Texas, New York, Miami. I've done Amsterdam, Brazil. I mean the West Coast, up and down all the way to Portland,
Yeah.
San Francisco, San Diego, LA. So I mean I've been around to a few places. Thankfully, I'm blessed. But no matter what, the sound never changes.
For
You know what I
sure.
mean? And that's the other part where in the beginning, before I started traveling, I thought I needed to adjust my sound to the location that I was going to, and that never changed.
Yeah.
That was never, no matter what. Every time I got there, it was always about, let me show them who I am. Let me show them what I got.
Yeah.
And it always worked out. And I think that, I mean, a message to all the young fellas out there trying to do what I do or anybody else does is just stay true to yourself. Play what you play what makes you happy, and do it well. And you're always gonna find a niche. You're always gonna find that group of people, even if it's the smallest group of people that are gonna like you and love you, and they're gonna spread the word about you. Next thing you know, you're out there fucking sharing your love with the world.
Exactly. So the LA scene when you started, house music scene,
Oof.
has that changed? Or actually, let's start from kind of in the beginning, like when you started. What type of scene was that?
LA's always been rough, man. LA's always been a dog eat dog world. If you ain't making anybody money, you ain't good.
Yeah.
So LA was always tough. LA was always one of those spots where it was really hard to share your love, because if it didn't coincide with the promoter who booked you, and if you didn't sell X amount of bottles, and if you didn't make the club X amount of money, then you suck. And it was always tough. But I mean, I don't know how, but I found a way through it. The clubs that I played at, if it meant buying 5 bottles myself, I would do it just so that I could share my sound and get that crowd, and the crowd actually
Bye bye.
and the crowd actually connected. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One of my first residencies was Sutra in Orange County.
Okay.
And I remember, man, I remember nights having to pay for 2-3 bottles myself and getting paid 150 bucks. You know what I mean? And it was just a matter of, at that moment, that I believed in myself so much that I thought, you know what, if I need to pay for it myself just so that I could get another gig here so
Yeah.
that people could hear me, then so be it. And thankfully from Sutra came my biggest residency, which was at Exchange.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I played at
World
Exchange
famous.
for a few years. And then from Exchange, I played Academy, and, I did a few festivals, here and there. So it all made sense in the long run, but in the beginning it was pretty difficult. And LA, I mean, obviously COVID now, but
Yeah.
LA's always been one of those places where it's the entertainment capital of the world. Everybody from all over the world wants to come to LA to play.
Very true.
So they have options, you know what I mean? And club owners know that they can book a guy that you can tell, hey, you know what, if you don't bring 1,000 people, we're not going to pay you. And the guy's going to say, fuck it. If I don't bring 1,000 people, I'll pay you $500. I just need a set. And people are going to do that because it's in LA and because the clubs are so popular, but thankfully the process that I had was good, affordable for me,
Yeah.
for lack of a better term.
Yes. Yes.
And it led to Exchange and Insomniac and, Academy and all that. And then that's how Madhouse came about.
Yeah.
And that's when I created Madhouse to help guys rid of all that bullshit that you had to deal with to get those sets.
Yeah.
To sell bottles and sell tickets and all that. I wanted a group of guys that I knew were good and help them get to the level that I was at
Yeah.
without having to do all
Do
that
all the
crap.
crazy shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you mentioned Madhouse. Now we'll briefly actually no I'm gonna save that for later on.
Yeah.
Save that. But I really want to get into that LA scene. Because being from New Jersey,
Mhm.
that's complete opposite side of the world, basically,
Yep.
or at least the country. Um, and kind of seeing everything on YouTube and social media, it's kind of like New York,
Mhm.
but a little slower, a little more laid back.
Mhm.
Um, Now, when you started, I know you mentioned some of the spots in Orange County, stuff like that, but was there an underground scene there as well, or is it strictly like the main clubs? Like that was like the best you can do in that area or that time frame.
So when I started, my mind wasn't even looking towards the underground.
Okay.
I didn't even know the underground
Existed. Yeah,
existed. Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I can't say if the underground
Okay.
existed or not. I'm pretty sure it did. 6 a.m. incognito. Now, like those guys, like much respect, much love. I know they've been in the game for so many years. And I'm pretty sure they were around when I was playing fucking Dash Berlin at Sutra.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's not where my focus was at. That's not
Okay.
where my mind was at. So did it exist? Most likely. Was I aware of it?
Probably not.
Absolutely not. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I feel you. As far as the let's get into a Madhouse.
Mhm.
You mentioned that that was one of the reasons why you created it is because you wanted to kind of create your own shit.
Yeah.
You'll be the own boss.
Mhm.
And then you can bring people in so they don't necessarily have to do the kind of the groundwork, the dirty work that you had to do. Um, so kind of touch on that a little more.
So yeah, Madhouse in the beginning was just a straight podcast.
Okay.
So when I started DJing at Sutra, um, I really wanted to get in on the direct support side
Okay.
to be a resident. And in order to do that, I had to submit mixes to the promoter that was booking me. God bless his soul. I don't know if he's dead or alive,
Yeah.
but I did a lot of work for that motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Uh huh.
But I started recording mixes at home, and at that time, my DJ name was completely different. It had nothing to do with Madhouse. Um, my DJ name was Dexter.
Dexter.
Yeah,
Like the show
like the
Dexter?
cartoon.
Oh, the card. Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay,
So,
okay.
so my little sister one day, I was making a mix, I was recording, and she's like, she's like, it's like a madhouse. When you record, you're like a scientist, or you're
Oh,
like
that's
a
dope.
mad scientist. It's like a madhouse, and I was like, that actually sounds pretty dope. I was like, I'm just gonna make this, madhouse podcast. I started recording mixes, madhouse mix, just to share with the promoter and also share on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
And then, whatever I did the Sutra thing, I was getting booked. And then, I went out to exchange and stuff. And little by little, I started to see the politics involved in getting booked, and who do you know and who knows you and what's your sound like and how many tickets are you selling and, et cetera, et cetera. So I was like, you know what? Like, I think I could put a group of guys together that are good, to show people that that's not really necessary. And that's really from the beginning. That's how it came about. You got Julian Anthony from the beginning that led to Diesel de Don and Mario Fitoria, who are both fucking killing the producer game right now. Diesel de Don's probably got, I think his track's number 15
Okay.
on the top 100 minimal. Mario Fitoria has countless top 10s with his production game. We had Maxo, who ended up moving out to Playa del Carmen. We have Sean Cruda, who's another fucking great producer, had his first album release with Tech Avenue Records. So it led to a bunch of different guys. Alex Alessio, most recently, our newest member. It led to a lot of different guys that have always put in work, have always put in effort, have a great follow, and which is the most important thing when it comes down to anything in entertainment related.
Yeah.
And it worked out. It worked out in the very beginning. I remember our first Madhouse show was on Labor Day weekend in 2016.
Okay.
And dude, we packed the house in Hermosa Beach.
Yeah.
The
Most.
club owner, the bar owner was like, yo, like, I want you guys to come back. Like,
Yeah.
what the hell? What's Madhouse?
Mhm.
Madhouse this, Madhouse that. And it just grew as a brand. It literally took its own direction.
Yeah.
In the beginning, like I said, all I wanted was to create a platform for talented individuals from Los Angeles that needed a pathway
Yeah.
into uh discovery.
Yeah.
Really, like that's it, you know. And it did that. It really did that. And I never envisioned as far as it got. You know,
Mhm.
we had a Madhouse show, and we've had numerous shows in Miami for Madhouse.
Yep.
We've had a show in Amsterdam for Madhouse during ADE. You know, I took Madhouse out to Brazil once. Like, it's just crazy. Like, the opportunities just stretched out more than I could ever imagine. And most recently, like we were talking earlier, um, think the direction is just changing.
Yeah.
These guys have all had the platform. You know, they're all doing their thing, and I'm not discontinuing Madhouse. It's not ending. It's not
Mhm.
non-existent anymore. But the focus and the vision is different. And it's no hard feeling to the guys that have been on Madhouse that have
Yeah.
helped it get to the point that it's at right now,
Mhm.
myself included. But I just think that there's a lot more possibility for Madhouse. There's a lot more ground to cover.
Yeah.
And I feel personally in my heart that if Madhouse, and I say we, including Madhouse, did that much for these individuals, I feel like we could do a lot more for more people.
I feel you. I feel you. So that is a good transition. So we're gonna put the boss hat on.
The boss had
You
oh
know,
shit.
being a boss. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
being a boss or owning a business or running a label or running whatever, sometimes you have to make difficult decisions.
absolutely.
You know, if
Yep.
it and this is a bad saying, but it's true. If it doesn't make dollars, it don't make sense. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So if it's not, kind of moving in the direction that you had, and obviously everything in life pivots,
Yep. A
pivots.
lot of things change, especially with COVID.
Exactly. A lot of things change. So we'll go back kind of in the beginning of the story when you
Yeah.
chose the people that were going to be in Madhouse.
Mhm.
How did you choose those guys as,
Um,
as a boss now? We're talking
yeah,
as a boss
yeah,
now. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So first and foremost, I went out to watch all these guys.
Yeah.
So it was a matter to me, it was a matter of how do you communicate with your crowd? You know what I mean? Some of these guys, I will not mention any names. When I saw them the first time,
Yeah.
they fucking sucked.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I saw something in them. I saw the way they communicated with the crowd. I saw their ambition. I saw
Mhm.
their passion with the music, with the skill, and I saw a future. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's like, you talk about the greats, coaches,
Yeah.
like, fucking Alabama coach,
Nick Saban.
yeah, Nick Saban. Like, I'm sure there's been some kids walk through that program that it's like, you sat on the bench in high school and now you're playing in the NFL. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So
Hmm.
it was just one of those transition periods for me where, as a boss,
Yep.
and it was if I could even call it a company at that point, for lack of a better term, it was just one of those things where it was like, I had something to pitch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And thankfully, and I could say this as humbly as I possibly can, a lot of these guys had respect for me.
Okay.
And they knew me, and they knew me why? Because I played on the main stage here, the main
Yeah.
stage there. I did a festival here and there. I played Wet Electric Arizona. I did, this show there, whatever. So when I would approach them, it was like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
Eddie Portillo. And it's like, look, bro, like, I want to get you where I'm at.
Hmm.
Let's work together. Let's make some fixes. Let's do some shit.
Yeah.
And we'll get there. So with Diego and Mario, I remember the first time I seen them play back to back, because they used to play together. Was at the Bardo at Avalon.
Okay.
Julian Anthony, I've seen that guy fucking play in his sleep. So you're obviously part of the team.
Hmm.
Jonna Jay Torres was one of the first guys too. Very groovy guy, very similar sets to mine because he
Okay.
grew up like me, Latin music.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of similarities that I found in them that obviously I wouldn't know how to pitch a career to somebody playing different than my style.
Yes. Yes.
So a lot of them had the similar style that I had.
Hmm.
So that was the first indicator.
Okay.
And then, moving forward from that, it should just worked out. It just panned out. And, little by little, I think we figured out Madhouse. Like I said, it just created itself as we went.
Hmm.
And I remember the first couple of weeks, we made, rules, fucking print out the rules, and
Yeah,
you can't do
of course.
this, you can't get fucked up while you're playing, you
Yeah.
can't be doing drugs, this and
Yeah.
that, blah, 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 sign it. So it was like, as we went, we figured it out. And I really think that it was a learning experience for all of us.
Mhm.
I'm proud of how far we got,
Hmm.
how far we're still getting,
For
because I could
sure.
still consider it an active movement.
Hmm.
But yeah, it was never one of those things where, be a part of this and you're gonna get here. It's just,
Yeah.
let's see how far you can
Goes
make it.
for
Yeah.
sure, for sure. So when you put the team together, you mentioned some shows you've been to Brazil with those guys, Arizona, Vegas, also like up and down. How did you? Because on this podcast, we like to give game to either upcoming guys or and girls.
Mhm.
So like I was saying, on this podcast, we like to give game out to
Yeah.
people.
Mhm.
We like to give game out as far as for upcoming. Up, is that me? Oh, it's all good. No worries. So yeah, we like to get game out, free game to people to understand, to let them know kind of like you did in the beginning of your thing. You wanted people to understand and kind of follow the way you did it, necessarily not making those not mistakes, but not making it so hard for them.
Right.
So in our line of work, connection and reaching out to people is very, very important.
Hmm.
Can you explain to you said you have DJ'd across the world,
Yeah.
across the United States. Can you explain to everybody the importance of connection with, reaching out to people, other labels or other DJs, promoters to try and kind of get those gigs?
That's a big one, bro.
Yeah.
That's a really good question. To me, I really pride myself in ethics. Ethics are really important. First and foremost, respect.
Mhm.
Whenever you approach anybody for an opportunity that is at a higher level than you are, your manners, your ethics, and the way you present yourself are more important than anything else.
For sure.
Um, to me, I've had numerous people approach Madhouse that have absolutely no record whatsoever, no gigs, no mixes, nothing. But the way they write and compose an email makes a world of a difference. The way you communicate will make a difference in any life that you choose. So to me, it's very important. Be respectful, be mindful of your approach,
Mhm.
and you ain't the shit.
Yeah.
You're not the shit. You could probably be the shit one day, but you're not the shit. So don't act like the shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So be respectful. You want an opportunity. Hey, what's up? My name is so and so. This is where I'm from. This is how long I've done this. This is the reason why I do this. Your reason to me is a big indicator.
Okay.
Why do you do this? You do it just because you're good. You do it just because you're trying to make some money. You do it really because you love it, because you have found a niche in it and you want to expand on it. So your reason is a really big thing to include on that approach. And I mean, to me, it's more professional to go email route.
Okay.
I get a lot of DMs like, you guys looking for DJs? Sorry, but no,
Mhm.
I'm not looking for DJs. There's plenty of DJs in the world if I'm looking for them, right? But now you find my email through Instagram and you send me an email, give me a little bio about yourself, tell me about why you're in the music industry, how long you've been doing it, what have you done with the music industry and who you are, then there's more of a possibility for a response. And getting that first response to me, when I was back in those days looking for an opportunity, Senator James and Mar Marciano are my biggest influences when it comes down to this, because Sunnery James was one of those guys where he was DJing EDC, he was playing fucking Amsterdam and Miami Music Week, and he really didn't have any fucking reason to reply to me. And the only way that I approached him was with a CD at Sutra when he played, and I gave him a recorded mix, and I gave it to him, and I said, "Hey man, here's a mix. I think you're gonna like it because you're one of my biggest influences, and I love what I do." Say no more. The next time he was in LA, he saw me in the crowd. He pulled me backstage. He was like, "Yo, your stuff is dope. Here's my email. Here's my number. Let me know if you need anything." And that's how you start your traction. You know what I mean? It's nobody's destination is guaranteed. You know what I mean? Nobody's route is predetermined. You're gonna find it yourself. So just have a respectful approach to where you want to be, and know how to talk to these people. You know what I mean? Because we're all people at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And I still look up to, like I said, Dennis Cruz, Chusen Ceballos, and you're talking like David Herrero and Rafa Barrios and George Smettles, and it's like these guys are grand, they're great. You know what I mean? And when I talk to them, even on a friend level, I'm still respectful. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I'm gonna be in town for this show. I'm sorry to bother you. Do you have a link? I have people hit me up. I'm not even part of the lineup, and people hit me up like, "Yo, what's up, Eddie? Can you get me in or what? Like, what are you really trying to do here?" You know what I mean? So your approach is really important, and to me, most of all, is your reason. Why are you doing this? You know what I mean? It's not to be popular. This industry is so fucking saturated. There's way too many people already in it. We don't need any more. What makes you stand out? And the least that you could do is be a good person with a big heart.
Yep.
That's the least you could fucking do. And if you are that guy, you're gonna get some opportunities, or that girl, because I know some fucking sick ass female DJs that have come up to me and they're so humble because the industry is so saturated with men, and they're so talented that they don't think they're gonna get an opportunity. And I give them a set and they book another set. I just had Izzy from LA play for me in Vegas, and she picked up a gig in Utah. And she hit me up like, "Yo, what the fuck? Thank you so much." And it's like, the only thing I ever tried to do was get eyes on people that deserve it. That's it. You know what I mean? And it shouldn't be about selling tickets and selling bottles. And as long as you're a good person, have a set, have at it, do what you do, get an opportunity and make the best of it.
1000%. Just like you said earlier about how you prepare your songs on a USB, you don't just throw it on there.
Right.
It literally speaks. The
It has to have, it's a conversation.
To stay all
Yeah.
there. For sure. So the kind of next step is, like, you talked about how they be humble, be respectful. But now for you as Madhouse, how do you reach out to different places to do that? Obviously, you kind of the same way you said, obviously,
Right.
but kind of go more in depth with that.
So obviously pre-COVID, because now I'm not hitting anybody up. But pre-COVID, for example, ADE, find out who's running it, send them an email. A rap sheet, a resume is important in any business. So I'm extremely thankful to 6 a.m. Group.
Okay.
We did a lot of shows with them, a lot of underground parties, a lot of very successful nights. And, we have videos, we have videos to show for, we have pictures to show for, we have, in my case, obviously, accounting to show for. So it's like, okay, cool. I hit up Miami. Hey, you know what? I'm Madhouse. We do these are the kind of parties we have in LA. I'm trying to throw a party. I'm trying to book these DJs. I'm thinking I'm going to make this much money. What do you think? Can we get an opportunity? Miami worked out great. We had an opportunity a couple years ago. We made a party called Bridge the Gap. And Bridge the Gap was just about connecting people from different places of the world with different styles. It was the first step in the Madhouse generation that it wasn't all about that Latin sound tech house. If you wanted to come and play a little bit of electro, go for it. If you wanted to come and play deep house, go for it. If you wanted to play techno, go for it. We were bridging the gap between different genres and different DJs around the world. And it worked out extremely well for us. Bridge the Gap became very successful. The first year, we had the second year. We were supposed to have the third year last year with for our first headliner, which was George Smettles, and that didn't work out. But yeah, anytime I hit anybody up, it's been ADE that I hit up. Miami Music Week. There was supposed to be a music week in Cancun that I hit up. Also Brazil. I hit them up with just information. Look, this is who I am. This is what I've done. These are our parties. This is my rap sheet. Here's my resume. But you present the resume in a way of, it's not just selling yourself. You're selling a brand. You're selling a company. You know what I mean? When you apply to a job, you submit a resume. This is me and this is what I have to offer. But when you're trying to do a festival or a party for, a gathering, it's more about, this is what I have that can attract more people for you than you're not already attracting. So I'm going to bring a different market. So that's your selling point. If you have nothing different to offer, then sit on the sidelines and wait your turn.
Wait your turn, yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody has to go through that.
Yeah, exactly.
You need experience.
Right.
Just like in a job, like you need some type of experience, or college, whatever. But most of the time, you need experience to get that job. You just don't go to the front of the line just because
you feel like it. Yeah, exactly.
But so that's good insight right there, man. So let's talk about unfortunate thing, but COVID.
Yeah.
Okay. So we met probably right around this time. We met not in person, but online.
Yeah.
I reached out to you guys because I played a couple of times up in LA at Pattern Bar,
Yep.
and I know some of your homies that are part of at the time at with Madhouse. So then that kind of our thing kind of formed from there. So talk about just before COVID, and then kind of like during COVID, how you guys had to like transitional pivot.
Yeah.
Because I know as someone that runs, business, podcast, all things house, you had one thing, January 1st, 2020, and now everything else is fucking completely different right now.
Completely different.
Completely different. So as a business owner, a label, all that stuff, or branding, sorry, explain how you had to pivot from there.
So in the beginning of last year, we had a lot of plans for 2020. I really felt that 2020 was a breakout year for a lot of people individually, but for Madhouse as a whole, big time. We had shows planned, confirmed only few, confirmed with Danny Serrano and George Smettles, and we had planned shows with Matthias Tasman, with I remember Dennis Cruz was also in the conversation. I mean, shit, we had like it was gonna change everybody's life. You know what I mean? Like you're a local DJ, like I said, some of us are producing. I think you have a show here in LA. Like, we had Seb Zito as our last show in 2019. It was a fucking smash. It was so successful. And we really thought we were moving in a good direction. As far as transition went, when everything got shut down, first and foremost for me, it was a little bit more difficult because my wife was pregnant. So, at that time, I didn't know how serious it was, and it wasn't really worth the risk for me to do anything to get her sick and myself sick and then the baby and risk anything. But then the only thing that we could think of was to stay relevant was, merchandise, let's just do some merch, throw some shirts out and, stay on the map, just so people could at least talk about it. And then after that, it was the podcast. So like, let's do a podcast. Let's collect mixes from people, whether they're local or non-locals. And, so the Madhouse podcast started that you can find on iTunes. But other than that, bro, I mean, even to this day, there hasn't been any conversation about a show. I mean, we really don't see the end of this. Is COVID real? I absolutely think it's real. I think it's so new that even the medical professionals don't know much about it. So it's one of those things where, I get in arguments with my dad about, you should be smarter and stop, going places. And it's like, life will go on, and it's one of those things like the flu, every season there's the flu season, there's a flu shot, and, we're going to fucking live and learn about it, but I mean, it's been rough. It's been rough. I really didn't ever see Madhouse being in this position, but neither did I see the industry being in this position. And now it's like you look around and it's like all these big companies, all you see is live streams.
Yeah.
Live streams here, live streams there, log in online, here's the code. The other day I saw Rafa Barrios on a pier with a sunset, and the beach behind him, like, oh, I just had a sick ass show. It's like, dude, you had, it's like you had nobody there, but that might be the new thing.
Yeah.
And we're just going to have to learn to live with that, just make the adjustment. The most successful people in this world know how to make adjustments.
Exactly. Know how to
you look at Elon Musk, you look at Jeff Bezos, they make adjustments. The world changes. And if you don't like change, you're not going to be successful in anything. So that's what we're dealing with right now is COVID, and if you can't think of a way that you're going to be successful in the music industry with COVID, then you shouldn't have been in the music industry to begin with.
From the rip.
That's it.
From the rip. So my partner Simone, we have a saying: stay fresh and stay relevant.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yep. That's
because
true.
There's gonna be roadblocks wherever it is. Right now, it's
all
COVID.
The time.
Tomorrow, maybe something else.
Yep.
Is either you want to stay on the side of the barrier or you're gonna jump over or run through that barrier. What
exactly.
do you do? Stay fresh, stay relevant. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But honestly, this is a good interview right here, man. I don't want it to end. I don't want it to end for sure. But I know you have some music prepared tonight.
I do.
You got your baby girl in the crowd right there.
Yeah.
Wife in the crowd right there. So
throwing their hands up.
Throwing their hands. Hey, for sure. So what kind of what do you have planned for the night? Something special, I hope. Of
I mean,
course.
just like I said earlier, man, just my emotions, the music that I've been listening to, a lot of the music that I've been listening to in my car, and I just hit save, like it just touches me in a different way. So a lot of tribal stuff, a lot of Spanish vocals, a lot of rhythm, a lot of groovy stuff. And then homies tracks, just yeah, just fun, man. Just have fun with it, just
Hell
like
yeah.
always.
So before we hop on the decks, man, let everybody know where they can find you, Madhouse, all the names everywhere.
You can find me on all social media at DJ Eddie Portillo. That's on Instagram, on Twitter, and on Facebook. Madhouse, the same at Madhouse DJs LA, on SoundCloud, on Instagram, on Twitter, and on Facebook. And yeah, after tonight, we're gonna find the mix on
All Things House
All Things
Podcast.
House Podcast. That's
YouTube.
right.
Let's get it. All right, dog. Thanks for coming.
Thanks so much.
I get deep, I get deep, I get deep, I get deeper into this thing. The deep. I get deeper into this thing. The deeper I go, the more knowledge I know what to sing, what to bring. What? I get deep, I get deep, I get deep, I get deeper, deeper, deeper into the vibe. What? Chilling in the corner at the shelter all by myself, checking it out. I'm not dancing no more, but why? 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 What? How on earth are you supposed to vibe around the fake ones, the ones that say they know what is what, know what is what, know what is what, know what, know what, know,
Hey! noche está agradable, ¿verdad? Y encima, es luna llena. ¿Ya me dijiste tu nombre? Ajá. Tú eres una chica muy, muy simpática. So, esta noche hago una fiesta en mi casa. Y bueno, no sé, tal vez me preguntaba si querrías venir. Tengo el apartamento aquí al lado y estamos cerquita. Vente, charlamos un poquito. Qué divertido, ¿verdad? ¿Lo estás pasando bien? Yo también. Mami, tú eres muy bella.
I want your body, everybody wants your body, so let's check.
El calor.
Let's check.
Ahora que estamos desnudos,
I want your
déjame
body,
decirte algo.
everybody wants your body, wants your body, wants your body, wants your body.
And house music was born. I am, you see, I am the creator, and this is my house, 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 my house.